Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Teaching Typography. My name is Cory Hall. Most of you, it looks like, we've got some people in the chat, have been with us for this series in probably its whole entire duration. So hello and welcome back, Joshua. We've got Keys in the chat. We've got Umacorn. Always great to have you. We've got Robert. Hello, Robert. How you doing? I am doing fantastic. I'm really happy to be here with you guys. As always, it is beautiful and sunny in Portland, Oregon right now. We had like an amazingly sunny, summerish weekend. Went to the river twice, hung out by the water. Okay, we've got Mayara, we've got Apurva. Mayara, I don't know if you've joined us before. Hi, how are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself. So for those of you who might be new, or for anyone who's watching this back on YouTube, my name is Cory Hall. I am a professional graphic designer. I have been working as a graphic designer for over 9 years now. And this is an ongoing series that is called Teaching Typography, where we really dive deep into some of the fundamentals of typography. We've looked at all sorts of different parts of like sort of the broader practice of typography, right? Thinking about typographic grid systems, thinking about typographic different characterizations and categories of typefaces, thinking about like the logistics and anatomy of typefaces. So we're going to get into some of that. But before we do, let me just continue my introduction. Let me switch on over to my computer screen, fade that on in. So again, my name is Cory Hall. This is my website. If you'd like to visit it, you can check it out at CoryAllenHall.com. Mayara, first time watching, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Can I ask you what brought you to us today? It is a pleasure to have you. And maybe like let us know a little bit about yourself. You're a graphic designer, illustrator, typographer. We've got Barbara in the chat. What's up, Barbara? So happy to see you. Barbara, okay, wait, before we actually get started, I have a little something that I made for you. 1, 2, 3, boom. Barbara, hi. Thank you for joining us. I'm so happy you're here. I am playing around in OBS and just like learning some new tips and tricks. And so I wanted to try that. Anyways, just having way too much fun. Umacorn, we're so excited to have Umacorn in the chat. Okay, so you guys like basically already know me, but for the new people, Barbara, you said what? Did you miss it? Wade says, LOL, nice. Clever, what's up, clever? Okay, I think you saw it. As you guys know, as our OG streamer buddies know, I am prone easily to distraction. So anyways, I'm just gonna continue with my introduction for those of you who are joining us for the first time. Again, Cory Hall, graphic designer, 9+ years. I currently work as a senior graphic designer for Stanford University, which is all things from branding, color systems, website, editorial design, editorial illustration. We just came out with our latest issue of our biannual magazine. I do all sorts of things. I have worked in digital publishing startups. I've worked in local government in my hometown in California. I work in design education. Clearly, here I am doing an Adobe live stream. Package and branding design agency, small businesses, technology, all sorts of things. So anyway, that is me. If you want to check out more of my website, it's here. I've got a lot of different projects. This Q Club branding project is something that I did on one of my first ever Adobe Lives, like 3 years ago now. I was hosted by Julia Masalska, who is a good friend of mine. She used to do a lot of streaming with Adobe, and then I think she actually got hired by Adobe, and now she's like doing her full-time job. But was a total delight. Clearly, I'm a big fan of Adobe Live. So happy to be here. I've worked on face masks for Instagram carousels, like I said, editorial illustrations, podcast branding, all sorts of things. So if you want to check out website, check out my Instagram, Cory Allen Hall. What got you to Oregon? Barbara is asking. What did get me to Oregon? I'll give you the backstory. So before I do that, again, teaching typography. So this has been an ongoing series. It has been so much fun. I mean, we're on episode 10 of this series. We started out with the like real basic fundamentals. Typography, really initially looking at typographic anatomy. what are the various letter forms, what makes up a letter form, what makes letter forms distinct or different from other letter forms, other typefaces, and like typefaces versus fonts. So creating a poster, looking at that, looking at typographic structure, how can you structure your typography to better enhance your hierarchy, to better enhance readability, or to communicate your message that you're trying to communicate with whatever design it is. Visual semantics, using language to really help enhance your typography and the message behind your typography. Typographic hierarchy, classifications. We did 2 different episodes on typographic classifications. We did episodes on experimental typography. This was one of my favorites. It's absolutely cuckoo bananas. See, here I am getting distracted by the chat again. Keith says, every time when I see that Instagram filter, the girl on the right, let's see, who are you talking about? I'm curious. Girly on the right. The top right, that girl up there in the top right, that's actually my sister. So that's my sister trying on my face mask. And then the girly in the bottom, her name is Allison. She's a really cool, super talented artist and designer friend of mine living in San Francisco. Let's see. Yeah, Keys, I don't know. Do you know them? I don't know. You could probably find them on Instagram pretty easily. Both of them have pretty cool Instagrams. You should check them out. So like I said, we've started off with this series really diving in deep to the fundamentals, thinking about the rules around typography and how we can use some of those guidelines to help enhance and better communicate using typography. But as I like to do, and because I have been working in graphic design for such a long time now, I like to kind of take those rules and break them, play with them, modify them to sort of suit my own needs. And so that's kind of why we've gotten progressively more experimental with these posters as each has gone on. I think it's important to sort of start with the fundamentals just so that we have an understanding of them, and then getting into having some more fun with it. And so that's really what we're going to do today. We're here in Adobe Illustrator, and we're taking typefaces that I have been using for the entirety of this series, and then modifying them and using those sort of typographic modifications to make interesting experimental posters. And so this was a poster that I started last week, and I had a lot of really awesome audience participation from all of y'all in the chat. I'm still looking for some familiar faces. I'm like, where are my besties? I had a few people message me on Instagram who were looking forward to your next live stream and hoping that they pop in, but we got our OGs. Joshua, yes, I did look at the font self maker. So I was playing around with it, and I don't want to learn it here live on camera with you guys, just because I want to make sure that we're making the best of most of our time. But yes, it looks super cool. I think I've talked about this before, but I have experimented with making my own typefaces before, and it will absolutely come in handy for, I was actually honestly kind of thinking of using some of these letter forms that I made in last week's episode, or 2 weeks ago's episode, and putting them into the font maker and just kind of seeing what kind of crazy typeface I could come up with. So yes, absolutely. Boop, boop, boop. Umacorn says it's an actual thing in Asia, the term looking good wearing a mask. Yes. See, I was trying to, it was the thick of the pandemic. I was we should be wearing masks. I was trying to encourage people to friends to wear masks and stuff. Q says, where's the 3D word? Yeah, so this was kind of a halfway finished poster because I was worried of streaming with OBS and having Illustrator running and all the the programs that I needed to have running to do 3D in here. I didn't want to crash my computer, so I actually started a different folder. I think it was this one. Yeah, so this was sort of ish where we landed with the 3D poster, typographic dimension was the episode, but I haven't put it back into this broader folder. And Barbara, don't think that I've forgotten about your question. I did remember your question of what brought me to Oregon. Before I sort of get into that, I'm just going to kind of start playing around. We're here to hang out. We're here to have fun. If you see me do something that you like, or that you're like, oh wait, actually maybe like I thought that it worked better before, let me know in the chat. This is like a collaborative process. Y'all asked for me to continue this poster in today's episode, and so I want to kind of just like vibe and hang out with you guys and just kind of see what cool typographic combinations we can come up with, add some texture into the background. I think I'm going to add like a really big block of text in the background and have it interact with some of these different shapes and letter forms. So anyway, we're just going to kind of start, we're going to start working, we're going to start hanging out, we're going to customize this typography. And if you have any questions about what I'm doing in Illustrator, keyboard shortcuts, or tips and tricks for Illustrator, just jump in. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Antonio, thank you for joining us. Babs, thank you so much for joining us. I am so happy to have all of y'all here. So many familiar faces. You guys are my friends. And I like, full transparency, radical honesty. I do absolutely think about this live stream like in the weeks between the live stream. I'm like, I wonder how all my friends are doing out there in the world. I wonder how Barbara's doing. I wonder how Umacorn is doing. Like, yeah, I don't know. This is just means so much to me, and it's a lot of fun. So, Barbara, to answer your question, what brought me to Oregon? I moved to Oregon in the winter of 2021, and I moved here because I had actually lost my full-time job at Stanford. Due to the pandemic, they had like pretty big layoffs at Stanford, and so they laid off, I think, like about 10% of the workforce at Stanford. And I was unfortunately one of those people that got laid off. And so at the time I was living in San Francisco, and as you know, you can probably guess, San Francisco is pretty expensive. I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and so my parents live in Palo Alto, actually. And so when I got laid off, I finished out my lease in San Francisco, and I was like, okay, I'm going to move back home with my parents for a little while, just to kind of like get back on my feet, you know, see if I can find a new job. I was doing a little bit of contract work at the time, but I really wasn't making very much money because it was the middle of a pandemic and a lot of people were hiring. And so I was like, you know what? I don't want to live with my parents for very long. I'll move in for like 2 months max. Moved in with them in October. I was like, by January, I need to be out. Where can I move? Where is like inexpensive? Where have I been wanting to try? Where can I like, you know, afford to live for a while without like a really steady income? And Joshua says, we're wondering how you were doing in between streams too, Cory. Oh, thank you, Joshua. And I was like, okay, you know what? I've got family in Portland. I've been to Portland a couple of times. I've got a good number of friends, like high school friends or college friends who live in Portland. And so I was like, I think I'm going to try living in Portland. And I started looking for places, found something like really pretty quick. I started looking in like December, but it was the holidays. It was kind of hard to like narrow something down. And I found something like towards the middle of December, ready to move in on January 1st, got COVID over Christmas, was like, shoot, I need to recover, can't be traveling with COVID. I was like feeling pretty terrible. And so I had to push out my start date at the apartment that I found until like the end of January. But actually I don't like that. I liked it with more lines. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm obsessed with this poster. It's so freaking cool. Barbara says 10%. Wow. Yeah, 10% of the workforce. It's like a big, I don't know. Has anyone in the chat ever been laid off before? It sucks. It's like not fun. It was my first time experiencing it, and it was just like, I don't know, it really like hit my confidence. It hit my like pride as a designer. I really had felt like super secure and safe in my job at Stanford. And I like honestly was hearing about lots of layoffs all over the world, but I was kind of like maybe like naively thought that I was not going to be affected. And so let me tell you, when you get a last minute calendar invite that just says like quick sync up on the morning of a day when you're not expecting it, let me tell you, your heart sinks. You're like, that is not a good sign. And so I like went into this meeting, lost my job. But anyway, yeah, I moved to Portland. Was started contracting actually for Stanford for the department that I was working for. And I don't know, 6 months or so later, they were like, hey, any chance you would want to come back and work for us full time again? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, was like, my pride is kind of getting in the way. Like, y'all laid me off, but I also know it's not personal. And they let me stay full-time remote. I didn't have to move back to the Bay Area. I got a little bit of a pay raise. And so I was like, you know what? I love my team. I love the people that I worked with. I love the work that I did. I will come back. I will come back to Stanford. Q says rough times. Some less known places went for 30%. Yeah, another 20%. Oof. Like, that's like 50% workforce reduction. It's like so rough. And I know it's like really rough out there right now. I know like across a lot of industries, all industries maybe, but I know design is being hit. I've had a couple of friends get laid off in the last like 6-ish months. And then, you know, even more before that for sure. So it's rough out there. Wade says, Def lost projects, gigs out of my control, never fun. It's super sobering. Yep, I completely agree. It's very sobering. It's definitely, it can be really rough. But, you know, the lesson learned is kind of that, like, you can come back from it. You've got a good support system and you are dedicated to your work. You know, obviously speaking with, like, some amount of, like, experience and privilege here, but, like, it is something, it's not like the end of the world to get laid off, so... in most cases. So yeah, that's my story. Barbara, does that answer your question? And now I'm in Portland and I kind of like it. I mean, I've been here for like 3-ish years now. My sister moved here not too long ago. My sister and I are super, super close. So like her moving to Portland was such a blessing. I was honestly trying since as soon as I moved here to get her to move here. And it has been amazing having her here. But now my partner and I are kind of like, you know, Portland's cool, but like, do we want to try somewhere else? Do we want to try New York City? New York City? Anyone out there live in New York City? Or have lived in New York City? I never have. I've never lived there. I really kind of want to live there. I know we've got people from all over. We've got people on the West Coast. We've got people in Texas. We've got people in the UK. But Cory, is it just like Portlandia? Yes. Wait, it is exactly like Portlandia. The first episode of Portlandia, there's a line where they say, Portland is the place where young people go to retire. And let me tell you, that is so true. You know, I'm not going to like, oh my God, Barbara, you have family in Salem? What? Hi. Let me know next time you come and visit your family in Salem. Come say hi. Let's hang out. Salem's cool. I just drove through Salem on a little weekend retreat with some friends. Salem's cool. Okay, what am I gonna do? What was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. Everyone says Ryan is from New York. I need to get back to New York. Oh, Wade asked if it's just like Portlandia, and I was saying yes, it is. It is like for sure just like Portlandia. Everyone is super chill, very like, I don't know, they have their like cool little side hustles, and it's not like even necessarily related to like their full-time jobs. It's like brewing micro brewed beer in their garage, or kombucha, or, you know, like tending to their chickens and, you know, funny things like that. You know, I find that, and I like love Portland. I'm not going to like dig Portland too hard, but Portland's a really sleepy place. And so I do think that like, that's why I'm ready to hear about, or go to and explore a little bit more lively of a place. And that's why New York does come to mind, because I want to be out in like the world. I want to be like doing cool stuff, meeting really cool people who are like super excited about the things that they're doing and like their professional lives and stuff. My partner owns his own company, and so it makes a lot of sense for him to be a place where like people are like networking and out, like, you know, I don't know, just like doing big things in the world. And Portland is not exactly like that. Portland is definitely a little slower. A Purpose has lost my project at the height of its success. It was like falling off a mountain. Man, that is like so relatable. I think a lot of us can relate to like having put your heart and soul into a project and losing it. And like right, or even when you think that it's like going so well, and then like life kind of slaps you across the face and says, not so fast. It's gonna humble you a little bit and make you work a little bit extra hard. Um, yeah, a lot of creative folks in New York, for sure. For sure, a lot of creative folks in New York. I don't know if anyone has like cool designers or connections in New York. I think my partner and I are actually going to go out to New York in October, and I literally just found this out probably 10 minutes before I hopped on this live stream. But he's got a friend there who is going to be out of town for a week or so in October and offered up her apartment for us to stay in. And I'm like, yes, please, like free place to stay in New York. And then we can like scout a little bit and see, like what kind of neighborhoods we want to live in. Q says complicated. Side hustles are kind of illegal in parts of EU. Have to get authorization for everything. Wow, that's actually like surprising for me to hear. Illegal, like that's kind of weird. Wonder why. Oh no, I messed up my T. Shoot. Okay, I'm going to Command X. Then I'm going to do a bunch of Z's. Yes. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to move my T up again. There we go. Can't have a ugly looking T there. Okay. And now, because I did Command X, I cut it. I'm going to do Command V and paste that right back into place. Okay. I don't know if that's like a trick y'all have tried, but it's a way to kind of get around like the Command Z of it all. Yeah, Keys, I'm curious, like, why are side hustles so tricky in the EU? Is it just like a tax related thing or like healthcare or something? Um, Robert says there's a Swedish Michelin 3-star restaurant in New York, I'm guessing. Um, yeah, there's like so many good food places in Portland. And that is one thing that I'm not looking forward to leaving behind. This is a lot of negative space right here. And I'm not loving the negative space. And I'm kind of like, okay, so I think what I'm going to do is add in some like layering in the background of like some kind of like really big heavy type layer. I'm thinking like maybe in a blue or something. So that will sort of help to fill up that space. But maybe I could just try taking some of these. Barbara says, money, honey. Yeah, New York is expensive. One of our friends just learned this. One of our friends has a 400 square foot apartment, pays like $3,900 a month. And I'm like, holy moly, that is not okay. But we got that dink lifestyle, right? We're dual income, no kids. And so I'm like, between the two of us, my partner and I get our place together. That'll make it a little bit more affordable. But you always got to make sure you're saving that money. Putting that money into the retirement account, okay? Retirement's important. I'm over here like, I want to buy stuff, but I want to retire more. Or at least retire, maybe not necessarily retire, because I honestly don't know what I would do with myself. But at least like be financially independent and secure. Okay, let's see. How do we fill up this space? So, like, obviously it's important to me that this poster stays somewhat legible, but we're experimenting, we're trying new things. Oh, something that I don't love is that this is rounded and this is not rounded. I don't think they all like need to be rounded, but I do think that it like kind of helps. Barbara, I'm guessing you're saying OMG to the cost of living in New York, which like holy moly. Yeah, so I don't know. That's me. Here I am now. I'm just like deep in the world of my poster. Guys, some tragic news is that this is my second to last teaching typography live stream. I'm going to say that again, but I'm going to say it straight to the camera. I'm going to say it with a serious face. It's tragic. This is my second to last teaching typography live stream. 2 weeks from now is going to be my last teaching typography type live stream. It had to come to an end sooner or later, guys, but I'm going to miss you, and I'm really sad about it. So if there's anything that you want me to do or talk about, we've got a limited time. So like, we're getting serious. So let me know. Let me know. Okay. Switching back over to Illustrator, but just we had to have a quick intermission to share that. I didn't want to catch you unawares. I didn't want to say it at the very end of the episode. But okay, wait, Josh says, double check the top of the L. Oh, rounded. Yeah, attention to detail. I love it. Thank you. Okay. See, okay. It's giving like modern sculpture. It's giving like, it's modern art. It's giving modern art, ultimately. Oh no, hold on. Bloop. Top of the L. Double check top of the L and talking. Oh my god, yes. You're so right. Why does this one not want to do it? It's like weirdly shaped, and this must be something to do with the shape of the L. Okay. Well, guess what? We're gonna do a little quick custom fix for this. The L really wants to get the better of me here, and I said, no, L. I'm getting the better of you. Take that. And now we're gonna do, because we've got a bit of a system going on here, something that I don't know, thoughts, we kind of, I do remember some feedback that we kind of liked that it didn't perfectly line up in this case. What do we think about it here? On the top of the L here, do we like that it doesn't fully line up and that it's got this almost like little cutout, this little notch taken out of it? Or do we like a perfect alignment, like how we have in the E or the top of the L here? Curious. Alessandra, where have you been? Okay, I've been waiting for you. Thank you for being here today. I was like, where's my homegirl, Alessandra? And here you are, you're here. And I'm so happy for that. So happy for that. You know, Alessandra says, hope you're feeling better, Cory. I am feeling better. I'm still very much congested. As you guys know, I was sick 2 weeks ago. But then unfortunately was sick, recovering all that week, went out of town that weekend before, then had to travel for work the following week. And so it was just like, wasn't great for my recovery. I was like especially tired. And so even this week, I'm like back from being out of town, but still like feel almost a tiny bit congested. And so, yeah, it's definitely taken some time. It's still taking some time for me to really feel top notch. But I went to the gym for the first time in like weeks yesterday. And then I played pickleball this morning, which, do we have anyone in the chat who plays pickleball? Okay. I know it's trendy, but it's also really fun. And I beat my partner. He's really good at pickleball, and I almost never beat him. And today I actually beat him. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I was so excited. I'm like, we need to play in the morning all the time so that I can beat you more. Okay, sorry, I'm seeing some stuff. Talk about the letter form A, start with capitals and lowercase, explain the names of the pieces, how it works or doesn't when altered, then B, then... Ooh, clever. There's a bug landing on me. Clever, I really like that idea. That's a really cool idea, you know, and it like kind of reminds me of a bit of what we did here. Although this was a little bit more tied to the classification of typeface. So like, you know, a sans serif versus a serif is going to have different features to it. And so we were talking more about the letters and letter forms as a whole rather than like things that are specific to each letter, where, I mean, you know, like some of this is kind of specific, like this right here, crossbar, like not a lot of letters have this crossbar. Do other letters have this crossbar? I guess like, capital A, like that's not a super common one. Or number 31, what is number 31 called? An ear, right? Like not a lot of them have that, but like it would be cool, you're right, to sort of talk about like even like the science behind Oh wait, I'm getting distracted because Aiden in the YouTube chat is asking what's for dinner. I'm having pork chops. I actually don't know what I'm having. Oh no, I'm going out to dinner tonight, so I'm probably gonna have a hamburger or something. But Clever, that's a really great idea. I like that idea a lot. And so, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what the Adobe Live gods say. Maybe we could do some kind of special series. That would be awesome. Joshua says, sounds like 26 more live streams to me. I'm like, I'm all for it. Let's hang out for 26 more hours together. Yeah. Yeah, I like that, but letter specific and how far you can morph it and why does it or doesn't it work in letters like in letters in the wild? Yep. Man, I'm like, I almost feel like I would need more than an hour for every single letter because there is just like, there's so much to what makes letters legible or illegible. And I'm like, I don't even know all of that. So I barely know anything. I know how to mess around in Illustrator, but that's about it. Haha, alignment, ligatures, page layout, numbering systems, and I know, I'm just like, typography is endless, you guys. It's endless. The possibilities are endless. I don't know why I keep singing songs. Alessandra says, awesome, I'm on my way to an Adobe event in Boston. Oh my god, wait, what event? What event are you doing in Boston, Alessandra? That sounds cool. I'm like, I want to go. I want to go to the event in Boston. Can I come? Are you going right now? I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there. Okay. Sometimes I forget that I'm actually designing when I'm just like hanging out with you guys. I don't love that. I don't love that. Ligatures. You don't like ligatures, Clever? I kind of like a ligature. I kind of like a ligature. I think ligatures are kind of fun. What do we want to do? I kind of like, I don't know, I had an idea of like extending this E and just having this sort of like echo. I'm like not super sticking to my grid, but like it's still working nicely and I like it. So don't come for me. Don't come for me, I said. I said don't come for me. Okay. Boom. No, and then this should go on top of that, but behind that. Boop, boop, boop. Oh no, I forgot one. Hee hee. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, I know what's happening. Dang it. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Keith says basically we need more. Make it happen, Adobe. Give the people what they want. Give the people what they want. The people want more typography. Okay. Way to saying Alessandra, is this a Paul Trani special? Oh my gosh. Paul Trani. Wow. He is like the OG. He's like the OG Adobe Live. If it is, I'm like, I want to go. I want to experience the magic. Bloop. Let your type do the talking. If this type could talk, what would it say? And how would it sound? I think that it would sound absolutely crazy. I drank kombucha before this, and so I'm sorry, actually, this is TMI, and I wish I hadn't started saying this, but I drank kombucha before this, and now I'm, like, burping a little bit, so I'm sorry. Sorry. We're candid, we're live. Okay. Then again, you can stream on your own, Cory. Yes, I could do that, but then, like, I don't know. I'm like, how would you find me? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I could do that. I guess I could. Would you guys still come and hang out with me, though? Watch if I just like start doing my own live stream at 1 p.m. on Pacific Standard Time every other Tuesday. I'm not going to do that, but that'd be funny. Alessandra says Elise swoops. Okay, swoops or swoops? Because I've been following Elise for a long time on Instagram. Super talented with Photoshop and photography. And I didn't know she was doing this. So like, I don't know, that sounds really cool and super fun. And I'm like, could I come? Are you going right now? Keys says, I'm a follower, I'm going to be there. Thank you, Keys. I don't know what I would do without you. I guess on that note, so like I was saying, 2 weeks from now will be my last teaching typography live stream. For now, question mark? I don't know. We'll see. But I am also going to be doing a live stream in the studio, in the Adobe Live studio in San Francisco in 2 days. Here, let me switch back over for another serious moment. I'm going to be doing another live stream in 2 days at the Adobe Live Studio in San Francisco. I'm going to be doing a couple of back-to-back live streams where we're going to be working with Adobe Express. So I'm going to be hosting someone named Ted. What is his last name? Ted Chin. I'm going to be hosting Ted Chin at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Thursday, the 16th. And then Anjali is going to be hosting me for the next live stream starting at 10, and then I'm going to be hosting Anjali at noon. So make sure you guys tune in, 9 a.m. starting at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time in 2 days on Thursday, and we can hang out again. That's going to be awesome. And yeah, let me switch back now. But yeah, hope you guys come. That'd be cool. I'd love to see you guys in the chat and we can hang out some more. And then we can chit chat even more because I won't be designing and I won't be like as distracted. We can answer questions. Wade, yeah, I did see that there was one in Eugene, Oregon, and I was thinking about trying to make it, and I actually kind of thought that I was going to be live streaming from Palo Alto this week. I thought that I was going to be in town a little bit early, and so I wasn't really planning on it, and now alas, here I am in Portland, and could have gone. I need to like keep my radar of Adobe, like live Adobe events, and I don't mean Adobe live events, I mean like Adobe events in person. I gotta like keep my radar up on these things, because it would be like I miss interacting with people in person. Okay, how do I take some of these sort of like this treatment a little bit lower? Maybe if I do the L, it's going to be a little too, I think it might become illegible. Maybe the K, lock, we're going to lock that. We're going to copy and paste. Copy and paste in place. Okay, never forget, copy and paste in place. Ooh, let's actually round that too. Round. Yeah, Barbara says, dang, my busiest day out of the office is Thursdays. Well, can't make it all. That's okay. I won't hold it against you that you're not going to be there to hang out with me. But I will be sobbing silently on the inside. I'm just grateful that we've had this time together, Barbara. I don't know what life was like before I knew you. This is kind of scary. It's like really sharp and I don't know like how sharp it is. To take it back to the YouTube chat, Aiden, if you're still out there, pork chops. What are you having with your pork chops? Are you like the kind of person who likes to have applesauce with their pork chops? That's what I grew up eating, and it's really good. Wade is being a boss with those links for sure. Joshua, you live on the peninsula. Okay, in San Mateo. No way. I didn't know you were like a California local. Yeah, I mean, you probably heard me mention this, but I grew up in the Bay Area. I grew up in Palo Alto, and my parents still live down there, and Stanford campus is in Palo Alto, and so every time I travel back for work, I stay with my parents in Palo Alto because they live like 10 minutes away from campus. And I'm in the Bay all the time. So if you'd ever want to meet up, or I don't know, maybe we could like coordinate doing a live stream from the Adobe live stream office together. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, I'm around. I'm around. Let's connect. Let's connect on IG. Message me on Instagram or something so we can chat. I don't love that. I don't like that. I think that it does not look good. Ooh, let's do something with this T. Boop, 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 boop. And we're gonna go down. Oh yeah, that looks great. I love it. I love it. Clever. Regarding the accessibility of ligatures, they are display only. Readers interpret them normally. Yeah. So I think I've heard that too. Screen readers read ligatures as if it was like, say it's a ligature between the T and the H. They'll just read TH. It shouldn't be read as a special character. But yeah, I do know. I mean, I could see how they feel like a little bit like visually messy. But I really like them because I love like ornamentation. I love like clearly crazy design. Like as you can see in front of you, this is cuckoo bananas. What am I going to do about this system? Because I had this system where each poster had its own special date, and now my system's going to be kind of messed up. Like now there's going to be 2 dates. That sounds like a problem for 2 weeks from now. So we had talked about potentially doing like a really big zine for the last episode. Cries with Uma and Robert in Across Atlantic Ocean. Not everyone understands ligatures. Yeah, let's coordinate something. Hit me up. I love kicking it with people in the Bay when I'm in town. And why are you crying, Keys? Why are you guys crying? Is it because you can't hang out with us in California? Or are you crying about something else? Are you crying because you love ligatures? Ligatures. Should I add a dash? Like, is that the solution? Is that the solution? Boop. 5, 14, 24. You know, I think it's working. This is not going to work though. Like episode 9 through 10 out of 11, like does that make any sense to anyone? Like that doesn't make any sense. So I think we're going to need to get a little creative. Yeah, Barbara, they're not in the USA. We've got people in the UK. Keys, remind me where you are. Switzerland? I can't remember. Let the type do the talking. Gotta be honest, I don't really like this N. I'm not a really big fan of it. And I don't know why, it's kind of bothering me. But that's fine. Okay, let's go in there and add some... No, all how rock a GMGT keys. I don't know what you're saying, Robert. Okay. Fill with placeholder. Make it blue. Change it to Nimbus. I'm trying to add some texture here. But we need to work in layers because otherwise this is going to start to get really crazy. We're going to add a new layer for BG text. Paste. Let is like the L sides at war with the O's of yours. It is. It is. It is, isn't it? What do we want to do? typeface do I want to put in here? Ooh. Ooh, this could be fun. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Okay, I'm like, can't even keep up with this chat, you guys. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I'm like, oh, I didn't have coffee today, and so I'm like both distracted and also completely not with it. Typographic customization is wild, y'all. Keys, you're in the most unique location I've ever visited. Visiting is nice, living is tough. Why is living tough, Keys? Tell me. Tell me more. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I'm trying to think, like, if I do a zine, how do I want to do it? Iceland. Umacorn, you're so with it. Like, you know all the things. I'm just impressed. I'm just impressed that you know all the things. Not all have bubbler bath in all over nature. Listen, that's facts right there. Iceland has bubble baths in nature, okay? So that sounds pretty great to me. Sounds pretty great to me. Too much cheese. Aiden in the YouTube chat left. He didn't want to answer my question about pork chops and applesauce. And now I'm always going to wonder what Aiden is having with his pork chops tonight. Honestly, how dare you do that to me, Aiden? This isn't working for me. I think what we need is something that's a little bit less. Here, these are my notes from last time. Font self maker for Illustrator. If your type isn't talking. Okay, we're filling it in with placeholder text right now. Ooh, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Clever says, I like pork chops with applesauce or barbecue sauce or gravy. All the above. All the above. But I think I like applesauce the best. It's that salty sweet, you know? And like a cinnamon applesauce. Oh my god, I'm a sucker for cinnamon applesauce. That is so freaking good. You know what? I think the restaurant I'm going to tonight has applesauce. Oh, or has applesauce, lol. Has pork chops. I think I'm gonna get a pork chop. So me and Aiden over here are gonna have pork chops for dinner. Together, but not together. Together in spirit. Oh my god, and look at the time. Like, we are already almost out of town. Town. How the time just flies by. And I am just using placeholder text right now because I want to get, like, some placement down. You know what's, like, a crazy thing to do is to add an outline to your curly typefaces. Add it to the outside. Oh, wait, why did it? Oh no, it doesn't want to do that. Okay, here's what we're going to do instead. Copy, paste. Send it to the back. Get rid of that. There we go. What layer am I on? T, X, oop, place it there, oop, do that, yeah. Barbara says this poster is Amazing! 2. Barbara, I'm so glad you like it. I made this one just for you. And you know what? You know what I'm going to do for old time's sake? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, I'm not going to be able to see it very well, but I'm going to say, hi, Barbara. Hi, Barbara. I should have made one that says, bye, Barbara, because we are going to need to go very soon. But I'm really glad that you like this. I like it a lot too. I want to print it out and put it on my wall. Overlay type. Boom. We few here across the pond have already had our dinner. Keys, what did you have for dinner? Did you have pork chop? I'm like actually getting so freaking hungry right now. Sitting here thinking about pork chops. If your type isn't talking, what's like a fun little rhyme? If your type isn't talking, then I'm walking. A purpose says having my third course after this stream. Tell me what you're having to eat. I need inspiration because I'm going to need to make myself lunch after this because I am starving. Wow. If your type isn't talking, then I'm walking. I say, make your type talk, okay? Because if it's not talking, then it's boring. I want your type to have something to say, okay? Honestly, this poster's bananas. And I love it. And I think for 2 weeks from now, in which we will have our last ever Teaching Typography live stream, I think what we'll probably do is do just like a massive recap of everything. And then we can probably put everything slowly together into a cool typographic zine. Like maybe I'll make okay, how about this? I'll make a cover for the zine, I'll make a closing page, maybe like a cover and an intro page with a table of contents. Teaching Typography, table of contents, love that. And then we'll have like the subsequent pages and then maybe some kind of like conclusion page or something. And then we can like put it all together into a zine. I think that that's a great idea. So if you have joined us, thank you so much for hanging out with me during this hour. As always, I've had a fantastic time sitting around chatting with you guys, doing designs and stuff. Renee from the Netherlands in the house, joining us in the YouTube chat. Oh my God, you're joining us right as we're leaving, but thank you for coming and saying hi. Renee, I was going to say this to everybody, but also like, I'm going to say it to just you too. Make sure you join us for another episode of Teaching Typography. 2 weeks from now, I believe that is the 28th of May at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be kind of closing out this Teaching Typography series and putting this all these typographic posters where we have looked at and talked about many different fundamentals of typography, from typographic anatomy, grade structure, visual semantics, hierarchy, etc., to experimental graphic design and typography, as you can see down here. We're going to be putting it all together into one giant zine. And then we're going to say goodbye to this beautiful little community of people that we have built. And I will probably cry during the live stream. So, I don't know, y'all. Thank you again so much for hanging out. Oh my gosh. I'm going to, just for maybe old time's sake, one last time, I'm going to say hi, Barbara. Goodbye, everyone else. And yeah, before I do a full wrap up, again, make sure you join us 2 weeks from now, 28th, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the last episode of Teaching Typography. Make sure you also tune in, if you can, 2 days from now on May 16th, starting at 9 a.m. I'm going to be streaming with a couple of really awesome and talented designers from the Adobe Live Studios in San Francisco. I'm going to be hosting. I'm going to be doing my own designs. I'm going to be making some garden party typographic graphic designs in Photoshop and Adobe Express, where we're going to be playing around with different templates. We're going to be doing some generative AI. There's just going to be all sorts of really cool things. And then exporting those templates in Express to be able to use on your social media channels. So again, make sure you join us 2 days, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Otherwise, I will see you guys at the next Teaching Typography. Thank you again, Robert, Umicorn, Barbara, Wade, Apurva, Babs, Keys, Clever, oh my god, like all of my friends, Alessandra, Joshua. Thank you guys all so much for being here. Love hanging out with you. And I will see you all next time. Farewell.